Howdy folks. Today we're going to be working on the travel trailer. Last time out we had two flat tires. So how did that happen? Well, what it ended up being was the valve stems. So what we're going to do today, we're going to change some valve stems. And here's the tools that we're going to need to do that. Um, Safety first, wear your gloves. Got a tire pressure monitor there. Got the little hook tool. Um, we got an insert tool with a cone. Now, I'm going to try it, but I'm not sure that these TR600 HPs are going to be able to go in this way. We might have to do it the old-fashioned way and use this little doohickey, which means that we're going to have to break the bead of the tire and fish it from the inside out. And of course, here's our TR600 HP, which is for a higher pressure tire, your regular 413s, things like that, on your passenger vehicle tires or whatever for lower pressure. But since that tire goes up to 80 psi, we want a higher pressure one. And basically, what the difference is it has a brass core that goes all the way through. And just remember, this is a valve stem, not the valve core, which is the little piece that you take out of the center of it. And then we also have a 416, which is a all steel one. That's what we're going to put back on our spare. So hopefully we don't have that situation happen again. Let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to spray these and let you show where they're leaking at. Blowing some bubbles. Let's take a look at the other one. Same thing. Blowing bubbles. So the first thing we're going to have to do is take these caps off and take out the valve cores and let the air out of the tires. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to take our valve core and this is where we're going to unscrew the valve core with this valve core tool. And make sure to catch it. If not, it will shoot you in the eye. I do recommend safety glasses during this time. But let all the air get out of both of them, and that's where we'll go from there. So, something that everybody has on their trailer is a lift jack. Because one of the things we're going to have to do if we want to put this valve stem from the inside out is break that bead on that tire. And the easiest way to do it, so you can use your jack. Um, I've tried to use the stabilizers before, but sometimes they don't have enough. Um, they don't have enough oomph to get it done. But the jack to jack up your trailer definitely does. So if you're pulled off the side of the road somewhere and you need to do this, the jack's probably your best option. I mean, you can always run over the tire too, but that's a little harder. Basically, you stick her under there with your valve stem close to what the jack pad is, and then you push her down. Really holding on there. There we go. And then you can just reverse it, let her back down basically, and then we'll go on to the next step. All right, now that we got that bead broken, let's go back inside and do the next part. Next thing you want to do is remove that valve stem. So you can put a little lubrication on there, and there's a couple ways you can do it with this kit. It has this pusher. Well, maybe we can use it to push it on down through, but we also have the hook. So to sort of test the theory to see if we can do a TR600 HD with the push-in kit, obviously you got to be able to get it out from the outside, so we might as well go ahead and try to use the hook here to see if we can't get that in there and pull it out from the outside here. The hardest part's going to be getting this hook down in there, because it's got that solid core, and then you just, how about that? Popped right out. So we've got that out, and now we're ready for the other one. On this tire, we were going to do the 416, which is this little buddy right here. Now, it comes with two different sizes. For one, you got your sort of, it's like 0.343 or something like that, which is sort of your standard tire one. And then there's sort of one that's almost like 5/8, which is for bigger tires. And it has another little gasket for that. I've already taken that one off since we need the smaller one, but you take the nut off, and then you have the valve stem. That's what this little tool is for, is that you can fish it down in there, and then you can, tie this on there. This is for, bigger tires that you might not be able to really get down in there very well. You can also use your standard valve core, or valve 4-way, and same thing as just push it up by hand, screw it on there, and use that to help you pull it out. So like, for instance, we'll get this down in there, and then you can use this to help pull it up, which I guess that's what the gloves are for, right? So that one, it doesn't necessarily like pop in place like your standard one does. You just want to make sure that that little gasket's sort of seated up in there, because what really holds it in place is your washer and your nut. So this nut is basically, you can use a 9/16. Most of the time they're like 14 millimeter, which I didn't bring with me, and I didn't include in the tool list earlier. Hold on a second and I'll be right back with you. Okay, now I've got the 14 millimeter. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to tighten that down, and the torque specs for these are roughly 20 to 35 inch pounds, not foot pounds, inch pounds, which is basically what is this, two to three and a half foot pounds. My smaller torque wrench does not seem to want to work very well, so I'm just going to go ahead and tighten this down to use my calibrated internal torque wrench when my elbow goes click. Yep. So tighten that down. Of course, you can probably check on the back side or whatever to see. And when I think that gets pretty close to where we need to be, that's about there. So that's that. The next thing we'll have to do is reset this bead, and I'll show you how to do that without the bead setter. So let's get this one removed and see if we can't push this one in. I don't know if we're going to get this one. We might have to break the bead on this tire too, so we can pull it out from the inside. Because yeah, that's pretty stiff. Well, maybe not. Looks like that one tore in half, so we might be able to pull her out after all. Well, if I can get that hook facing in the right direction. Maybe I need to put an indicator on it so I know which way it's pointing. There we go. That one was definitely torn, so yeah, that one's no bueno either. I don't know if I just tore it when I did that, or if it's definitely the way it was. So we're going to take our new one and we're going to try this trick and see with these TR600 HDs if they'll actually go down through there. I can show you the difference between like a 413, a lower pressure one. It actually has like a bulb around the butt end of it, so that it can actually slide in there a little bit better. But I think that if we, spray a little bit of rubber friendly stuff on there. So yeah, we've got this this all lubed up there. We're going to use our handy dandy little push rod here, and we're going to screw that on there, and we'll see if we can't get this one to pop on through this piece. And basically you're just going to line it up over the hole, and you're going to shove her on down through, which it's kind of getting there, but putting that little WD-40 on there has made it a little slippy. So there it goes. Yep. Standing up, gonna get her in there. Ah, about time. That was a heck of a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. But we got her in there. Alright. Unscrew this off of here or whatever. Yep, popped her back up in there. She's on there. Alright. Now what you got to do is put the valve stems back in, and then we can go on to the surprise step. So just like taking them out, you take your tool and you screw them in. This one's ready. All it needs is air. All right. Now for my surprise tools. Starting fluid and a lighter. Don't try this at home, kids. So if you don't have access to a bead setting tool, this is the only way I know how to do it. It's not exactly the safest way, so make sure you're wearing eye protection. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher nearby. Don't spray a lot of this. It only needs just a little bit, and I'll show you just how much it really needs. But what you want to do is around your edge, just a little squirt, and then well, it didn't set where it was. It didn't set where it was supposed to, but once we start putting some air into it, it'll pop up where it needs to be. Yep, there it is. You just gotta put you some air in there and get her filled back up, and you're good to go. Okay, so there you have it. Like I said, it was a little bit harder than I thought it was, getting that TR600 HP high pressure valve stem in with the pusher method. Like I said, I'd never done that before on an E-rated tire, so that was my first time. We actually learned that together. I didn't learn you that one today. I mean, I've done it lots of times with a four-wheeler tire or tractor tire or something like that, with a lawnmower style tire with the 413s and things like that, or even little passenger car tire, but never with a E-rated, heavy sidewall, high pressure tire like that. So it was tough. It wasn't a simple little pop or whatever, but it can be done. So I guess to review, we used our gloves sometimes. I give myself a bad grade on that. I usually wear them a lot more. But we, this is that 416 that we installed on the one tire from the inside. Like I said, they give you two different gaskets, one for the smaller hole in the rim, and then the other one for the bigger. We didn't use the bigger one today because it took the smaller one, and like I said, first thing we just pulled out those valve cores, let all the air out, and then we used our handy dandy little puller. I tell you what though, this is a lot easier than a pair of needle nose pliers trying to pry them out, but it was a little tough on the HP ones to kind of get past that that solid core like that, or the solid, you know, core of the stem, but can be done. Now, WD-40, like I said, you can use soap, you can use Dawn, anything to get it a little slippery. Something you want to try to use something that's not going to eat away at the rubber or whatever. And yeah, you can use that to pull it in. You can get you one of these to pull it in. There's that cone. And then, you know, the special sauce at the end. Like I said, only a couple squirts. You don't have to lay that on there good unless you want a tire to blow up in your face. So just do a couple squirts on there, and then you know, you're good to go. But yeah, that was it. It was pretty fun. We'll try to do something next, like maybe we'll change a tire or something like that here in the future, because I do have to put one of those back on. So you might be able to see that coming up pretty soon. But remember to subscribe, hit the like button, smash that bell for the notifications, and thank you. Bye bye now.